Hey, they're good looking.
Welcome back, guys. We have an update for you on the Olds 88. 98 Oldsmobile 88.
Not to be confused with one of my bucket list cars, which would be the Delta 88.
A little bit older style.
Fun fact.
So,
Check out this handiwork I did today. That's all I did.
yeah, Adam wanted to be able to say that he did something, so here we go. We hung a light by the hood. So, Adam, what have we done so far today?
I'm excited. Look at how nice and fresh and clean this looks. You know how I like to have stuff organized. So all the wiring, computer, everything that's on the right side all came out. Relocated the grounds here. Screw those into the stud. One of the most important things that I've learned in building, especially cars like this, is every time you undo something or you take a bolt or take a nut out and you take wires off or anything, put the nut or the bolt back in the spot that it went, even if it's just finger tight, because it never fails. You're like, oh, this would be a great place to ground that. And you look for freaking ever to find a nut that fits these damn things when you know you took 20 of them off earlier. So ever since I started doing that, this stuff got a lot easier.
And for something like this, if it's that easy to move your grounds, move your grounds. I mean, you know, it's keep them out of, you know, up in this area that's going to bend. I mean,
stretch towers are a little stronger, and we do know for a fact that if this disconnects, the car will not run, because we tried to start it without that connector.
Yes, that one for sure. This one, who knows?
Yep.
Maybe the car would run just fine without it.
Yep.
But why bother? This is less times we have to fire the car up, turn it off, make sure it runs, all that fun stuff. If we can just reground it, why not reground it?
This car came with a stock strut bar, so we'll keep that in there. And we actually moved the computer right up on top of here, so you can see there's your throttle bracket. It kind of rests on top of that for right now, but thinking about making something to kind of hold that in place. Once we cut our hole in the hood, that'll be nice and hopefully protected.
Yeah, usually on the W bodies we'll lay that all inside, but you know, the wires come right down here to the tranny, which isn't that big of a deal. We could easily extend those or hot wire the tranny, but that's actually a pretty safe spot. I've seen a lot of guys put it there. And as long as you cut your hole in the hood big enough so that it's, you know, a little bit forward of this, so that if it starts to come in, or make sure that your sides are big enough, because every once in a while your hood will come together. But you know, just give yourself a little bit of space, and that's really not a bad spot. I mean, for God's sakes, your fuel line's right next to it, so hopefully it's safe, right? I mean,
hopefully it's good right there.
Definitely not worried about trying to move that any farther.
No.
This is kind of a quick build.
Coil pack, we are going to relocate that. We've done a little investigation on how to get this undone. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but I think there's a lot of benefit in moving that, because obviously you guys have seen how much the cars can come flying apart and bent and stuff in the corner. So we're going to try to take this, and I want to put it right up here too, right next to that computer. Another good safe spot. In order to do that, you got to remove some studs out of the block, take this off. Remember, you got to extend those 3 plug wires in the front, bring all that stuff up there. This is actually grounded, so you want to get some extra grounds going there. We did a lot of that on the Regal. I think that might have been one of the things that helped that car last so long. So, wouldn't mind doing it up here. I mean, it's a project for the day, but if you do it right, it's worth it. You know.
Yeah, and really, we actually probably still have the stuff off the Regal, huh? Do we have this?
Yeah, actually, it's all in a bucket over here. We save all of that stuff.
So it should actually be fairly easy to just move those wires up, and should be in good shape. Of course,
you might even be able to just unplug all of them and plug it into the second set of coil packs and have 2.
Of course, somebody got zip tie happy because somebody gets zip tie happy, and they already zip tied a couple of the plug wires, so we'll have to cut that.
Up here?
Yep.
Yeah, I hung them on this engine lift bracket because they were sticking inside the blades of the fan, and I thought that might not be good.
Minor.
You got 6. What the hell's losing 2?
Yeah, you don't need those.
Most of my cars don't have all the cylinders anyway.
I can think of at least a couple. Yeah. All right. So inside the car is pretty much the same, but we did start kind of making a little bit of progress on this rear trailing arm. I want to show you just what it looks like. And then we cut a chunk of it off so we can show you where it actually broke. Just to try to be able to explain things a little bit easier. Hold on, setting you down so that I can readjust my fat. All right. So I'll show you that side. You can see how the control arm is. That's a good one. That's in one piece. Yep. How everything moves.
Note this area.
Yeah, right. Spring sitting in the bucket where it's supposed to be, nice and happy. And then we come over to this side. Same general area, but we cut this one just so that we can show you. So hold on. To replace it, you gotta pull a bolt here. It's got a nut on the other side, and then same thing on that side. Take that one off, and I've got the replacement control arm in the back of my car, which is 45 minutes away from me, so we weren't able to do that. But we cut this chunk off so that we get a better camera view of what happened. So this would be that other end. This is where the ball joint would go, and you can see where she rotted on the inside and broke, and everything just slammed forward.
It's about the same thing we replaced on the Regal again. Ball joints on that a million times, but it was all in the front end.
Yeah, right. So, I don't mind the suspension design. This stuff actually looks fairly chunky. I mean, I would think that it would last a little longer than the rear suspension of a W body. I could be wrong, obviously, but this does seem a lot more chintzy once you get down towards the end. So, we'll get the rest of that cut out of there. I don't really want to mess with trying to use the impactor. I'm just going to cut those off. We'll put fresh bolts in it. Those things look pretty ugly, so we'll do that off scene. Once we got her put back together, we'll certainly make sure that you guys know. Mr. Mansfield, what's next?
We got a secret weapon number 2 coming in this weekend.
Ooh,
Yep.
We do have another surprise, that's true.
I don't know about that. We don't have it physically in our possession yet, but from what I've seen, I'm going to be okay with it.
That's right, because we don't have enough stuff already.
Right.
We're buying another car. That's
Usually,
never been on camera.
Cody finds all these deals, and we run out and stuff. And then we had a good talk about a month ago whenever we went out and rearranged the barn. And we said, all right, we got everything we need for this season as far as we know. We don't need to buy anything right now. We're good. That's a couple weeks ago. I text Cody and said, get over here. I bought a car. We got that car here. You guys haven't seen that yet. That's part of secret special weapon number 1. Very excited about, but not till we get to 1,000 subscribers. We're very close. What are we, like 80?
We need like 80 more, yeah.
Yeah, 80 more. Go get your friends and say do it. Maybe we'll give something away.
Get your girlfriend. Like, even if she's never going to actually watch us because we're dumb, tell her to just hit the button.
That's our year-end goal, and we're just a few weeks away, so we got to hop that up. And then, so we went against our wishes and went and bought another car. And then Cody texted me a picture of another car on the trailer that I haven't even seen. I don't know where that came from or what he's doing with it.
I already sold that.
Let's see.
Never mind. It's gone.
And gone. And then earlier this week, I texted him and went, oh, yeah, and I bought something else here, too. So we got to go get that in a couple days. But I think this one runs. We got a tank in it. We got to get the seat in there.
That's up here.
A couple things.
I got to get rid of this seat and this seat, but I have a dumpster car sitting outside the garage, so we can do that.
So once we get that back end fixed where it'll roll again, we should be able to drive it. And it'll be pretty much, I'd say, we like to get cars 75% done if we do have to move them back out before we start. But we got a really cool announcement on what we're actually going to be doing with all these cars. I don't think we've told anybody yet. And so we want to get them all about 75% done, so depending on the show that they go to, we can do the other 25% strictly to their rules. Helps a little bit. And
yeah, and that is one thing that's, I guess, a small portion of it. You guys know that we pretty much always run Hollywood, but there are a few other promoters in the state that I've considered a show or two at. Some that I've never run with before, some that you saw us run, some that I've run with prior to the YouTube stuff. So there are some possibilities, and the rules are all just different enough that we want to, like, stuff like the front end. I don't know that we're actually going to build the front end too much. We may just leave it like this, because honestly, what's it take us to build the front end? A day?
At most.
And that's if you're doing it really well. You got a day and just... I'm not talking anything crazy back here, but if you look at a stock, modify, a limited weld, semi-stock type of class, so, where you're allowed 6, maybe 8 inches inside the frame, your threaded rod can go through it, putting a bumper on it, that's all I'm talking about, is just that stuff. You've probably got a day in making sure that you do it right. So, most of our classes anymore don't allow us to crease them, so we aren't going to be doing that. I'm going to try to bend this lower core support down a little bit so that we can get that radiator sitting in there a little bit more comfortable. But We're allowed to chain the motor, or we're allowed to weld factory mounts. So we may do something with that because it's right there. So why not? But really, honestly, guys, you'll probably see this one leave here soon. Why? Because you guys like seeing new projects anyway, just as much as we do. So maybe we need to put something else in this stall that you've never seen before. All right, we're at 10.5 minutes, so most of you probably stopped paying attention a long damn time ago. The rest of you are sleeping. Those of you that are still with me, I appreciate it.
Send me a message. I'll send you a sticker for hanging on this long.
Oh, man. They better come from Adam's address. I know what's going to happen now. All right. We appreciate you following along. As always,
go subscribe and get goosed.